This story is the true story of a wise man named Alan. He was quite an expert in computer science and biology, and he was also a very good scientist in investigating secret things. His value in the war gave full support even though they did not go to fight in the war. How did this happen? You know the story. It begins in 1951. Someone informs the police by phone that when the police came to investigate, that the house didn't look recently occupied. While checking the house, the police also find Aline. Then the officers ask if the neighbor called you last night. There was a lot of commotion here because thieves came to steal. So now tell us, what happened at the end and what was stolen from your house? You tell us, then we will deal with that person. It seems difficult for some people, but I don't think so. Even if he comes before your eyes, let it go and go from here. But yes, it would be better to call a cleaner as the house is very messy. Hearing this, both officers left, but one felt that Ellen was definitely hiding something from us. And then the story goes into a flashback. Time was different in 1949, meaning that time when the Second World War started because of Germany, and the British, meaning the people of this country, also Germany had declared war, which led to many confidential projects starting between the two countries. Now, one of the government's confidential projects, some secret army projects were underway here, and the head of these projects was the most senior person. Let's meet the commander. Actually, this commander was looking for someone who could decipher the German-coded messages, decode them, meaning convert them into language, explain them, could explain the correct meaning, and today came here for this job. But when the commander learned that Alan didn't know a single word of Khuzrawini's language, he thinks of getting him out of there, for which he calls a colleague there. But as soon as Alan mentions a machine that decodes the codes, and the commander stops, not letting him go. Actually, Alan mentioned a machine through which Hitler and the German soldiers send messages to each other, saying they never take a break. And how to attack? Aline asks the commander. The Germans send messages to each other through that machine. It is like a puzzle game, and I love solving puzzles. To which the commander's response was, but I don't want to solve this puzzle. No country in the world has been able to solve this issue till today, said Aline. Okay, let me solve it. Then you'll see that they introduce Alan to 5 people because it's a whole team which had to work with Alan, and here was that machine which the commander shows and says that this is the machine which sends germ messages as well. Worked. To understand their messages, we must first understand this machine. They also mentioned that German soldiers send messages with this machine every morning at 6 o'clock and then at 12 midnight from the jail. They completely changed the settings of this machine. So to understand such messages, we have approximately 18, for whom it's very important to know this machine well. But this task was very difficult because this machine looked small, but its settings were 169 trillion. Obviously, it was nearly impossible for everyone to understand. Now he is the chief officer, which indicates that because of this mission's messages, many people in our country are getting killed every day. He tells Alan that the time it took for him to talk to him, in the meantime, 4 people in our country have been killed, so you can guess. Because of this, we lose many people every day, and then these people send messages with condolences. When they start working on the task, this thing comes up because of its 169 trillion. There are millions and millions of settings, so if they start checking each setting, then in decoding, it won't be possible. It will take 20 million years. Now, everyone here had started working in their own way. Some of these messages are also decoded. And when they tell Alan about this, he says, do not get too happy if you have decoded this, because even a broken clock is right twice a day. She tells the 2 things properly, and hearing this he said, because what Alan said was true, it really was just a coincidence. Alan says that he is going to make a machine that misses every single code. Absolutely correct, decode it properly and tell us. Here we notice that due to Alan's working style and way of speaking, his colleagues, those who don't speak well. We are people who stay angry and in our own mood. Alan had completed the entire blueprint to make the machine, which he now wanted to possess. And when he requests it, the head of their unit plainly refuses.